Hello and welcome to LHS News. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm Jonathan Ortiz.
And I'm Melissa Montanez. Next fall, Lyons will have a brand new middle school. Construction for the new building has been underway for a while. Let's check in to see how the construction is coming along.
With the school construction over halfway done, here are some updates.
Well, the project's moving along very nicely. We just had a construction update meeting this morning. They are still planning on having the building complete by August 1st. Completed several projects of the bond issue already, so there are a couple things that are still left. Remodeling of the old middle school cafeteria is the main one that comes to mind at this time.
This new addition will help the teachers and coaches collaborate better.
The athletic contest will be held here as far as volleyball games, football games, basketball games, those type of things will be of benefit. Academic-wise, we'll be able to take better advantage of our staffs. Those are just a few of the benefits just right offhand.
This time for in basketball, the JV players won't have to travel all the way to the other school to play for the JV game. They could just go through the other gym.
For LHS News, I'm Drake Link.
The bond issue that the City of Lyons passed last year included many other smaller projects. Besides the new middle school, one of those projects was a new parking lot in front of the high school. For more information about the new parking lot, we turn to Jerry Pando.
With the new bond issue for the new building, adding a new parking lot was not too much of a hassle and will serve great in the future.
We really like it. It's going to be much better for us to have the concrete parking lot versus the gravel and dirt. It's going to be able to, we'll have marked parking stalls, which will help a lot. We won't have the wide spacing between there. Eventually we'll have 206 marked parking stalls for what is currently done at this time, which will include the 198 individual parking stalls, including 8 handicap stalls.
The bond issue that the City of Lyons passed last year included many other smaller projects. Besides the new middle school, one of those projects was a new parking lot in front of the high school. For more information about the new parking lot, we turn to Jerry Pando.
The new parking lot will be expected to be finished for graduation for all guests to use.
I think it's going to help the students. It's going to be, because it'd be just like a regular parking lot versus be more organization for it.
The new parking lot will benefit both students and guests in rainy conditions.
I feel like they're taking way too long. It's a real hassle to park there. The kids like to park on the front row and we get yelled at for doing that. And then we have to park almost in the street just to get to school.
With the new parking space lines, there will be more organization between cars so they won't have to park so far away.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice because when it rains it would get all muddy. But now it's just going to be cement, so it won't be bad.
For LHS News, I'm Jerry Pando.
This evening, LHS will be hosting the annual variety show. Middle school and high school students will show off their talents starting at 7 p.m. tonight. For more information about how the students and staff got ready for the variety show, we now turn to Karen Rodriguez.
Today on April 27th, Lyons High School will be hosting their annual variety show directed by Braxton. We asked him how well and how hard the practices are going.
Coming along really well. They're rehearsing really hard daily on dancing and some of the individual acts as well as big group numbers.
Here we asked senior Lionaire Mittchel Vincent, who's participating in the variety show.
There's quite a few. We have about 24 Lionaires that are going to be in it and a few more with solo acts.
Yes, the practices are going well. They're rehearsing daily on that. We actually have some evenings. It's kind of a bigger production, kind of like the musical would be in the fall, where it requires some evenings of rehearsals for like skits.
We asked them both how excited they are for the show.
I'm very excited for the show. I think with myself, it's my favorite concert of the year. I think that a lot of the community likes this concert because it's more laid back, it's more casual, more upbeat. I think the students love this concert probably the best.
I'm really excited for the variety show. As years past, I've been in a bunch of stuff with it, so I'm very excited.
For LHS News, I'm Karen Rodriguez.
Lyons High School recently hosted their last forensics tournament of the year. For a look back at the tournament, we turn to Kenny Mefford.
On April 14th, LHS Debate and Forensics team hosted a forensics tournament right after school was released. Most of the LHS students spent their time setting up for the tournament by getting the room set for event.
This is actually our 5th for the year. We had 2 debate tournaments and we've hosted 3 forensics tournaments this year. We are using virtually every room inside the building, along with a gym and things like that.
There were 12 schools that participated in the tournament.
Teachers are really, really nice and allow us to use their rooms. Also, the administration basically allows us to use their rooms as well.
Oration, poetry, duet, impromptu, IDA, informative, humor, solo, serious solo were the events.
Today I'm just watching, but I do DI and poetry. This is my 3rd year.
Thomas More Prep School won overall in sweeps. From LHS News, I'm Kenny Mefford.
And now with a look at your LHS News weather, we turn our attention to meteorologist Cole Clark.
Let's take a look at your LHS News forecast. Today should be a great day. We are looking for an afternoon high of around 63 degrees. This evening we can expect things to bottom at around 50 degrees. Tomorrow should be a little bit warmer. The highs should break into the low 70s. For the rest of the week, you can expect highs in the 70s and even into the 80s as the weekend rolls around. And now back to the main desk with John and Hewlett.
The school year is quickly coming to an end, and that means LHS will have to say goodbye to another group of seniors. But it also means that a new class of freshmen will join us next year. Let's see how this year's 8th grade is preparing for high school.
With the 8th graders entering their final weeks being in middle school, we asked them what activities they plan to do in high school.
I want to go into Spanish club. I'm thinking about doing high school basketball.
Many students mentioned they didn't want to leave middle school, while others seemed eager to finally be entering high school.
I'm just ready to get out of middle school and go to high school, so there's more opportunities. I can start thinking about college.
The students will also have more opportunities.
There'll be a lot more chances to have more friends, meet new people.
And now to Mrs. Pruder with more information.
Explore classes. We've got a lot of different pathways here that they can explore what they would like to do.
Many have already gotten involved.
I just tried out for Lyons. I'm going to be in a couple sports.
The possibilities are endless here at LHS.
There's many activities they can get involved in, all kinds of sports opportunities, so there's just a lot of opportunities here at this school that they could get involved in.
For LHS News, I'm Jose Montanez. Lyons High School recently purchased a 3D printer. To learn more about how the 3D printer will be used, we turn to Tyler Chrisman.
Recently, Lyons High School bought a 3D printer that will extend into new pathways that include STEM, entrepreneurship, construction design, and production. Many of the students and teachers are excited. We turn to Mr. Vogel to learn more.
3D printer works by heating up and melting a thin roll of plastic, kind of like weed eater string, and there's a print head that moves around, and it will actually prints off thin layers of plastic. According to the design of your object. And those thin layers of plastic then kind of slowly build up, and then your object becomes 3D.
We asked Mr. Vogel how he thinks the new 3D printer will benefit the students at Lyons High School.
For the 3D modeling class, be able to get more of a hands-on experience and test and the shapes they design in the editor.
We were curious to find out what applications and projects are in store for the 3D printer. We asked Mr. Vogel what he has in store for his students.
Entrepreneurship class, students will actually create a business using the 3D printer, and they're going to print and sell customized phone cases and other accessories.
For LHS, I'm Tyler Chrisman.
The state of Kansas is facing severe budget cuts. Officials are predicting that Kansas will collect $1 billion less in revenue in 2015 and 2016, following the massive income tax cuts signed into law by Governor Sam Brownback. School budgets will take a substantial cuts. To see how these budget cuts will affect Lyons schools, we asked our own Cole Clark for more information.
The school year is almost over, and with next year comes statewide budget cuts. To find out more about the budget cuts, we talked to our superintendent, Bill Day.
Budget cut is when you have a certain number of dollars allotted, and then you have to take away from that number of dollars because of something else generally beyond your control.
Understanding what a budget cut was, we were curious as to how much funding the school would have to give up next year.
It's going to cost USD 405 $186,000 over the next 3 years.
With so much state funding going to be gone next year, we asked a student how he feared he might be affected.
Oh, it might keep us from getting new uniforms and athletics equipment for sports and everything.
We asked Mr. Day what steps the school is taking to make the cuts for next year.
We've taken a lot of steps, and it takes a lot of $1,000s and $2,000s and $3,000 to add up to, basically $62,000 per year over 3 years.
For LHS News, I'm Cole Clark.
Thank you for joining us here today at LHS News. I'm Jonathan Ortiz.
And I'm Melissa Montanez.